Welcome back to our English learning series. And today we're diving into a transformative journey that can help you master the English language in just 6 months. Yes. Now we're going to explore a simple yet effective daily habit that, when used with other techniques that I teach on italki, will make a significant difference in your language learning. The habit is journaling. So this method is fantastic because it not only enhances your writing skills, but it also enriches your vocabulary and your understanding of English. So here's how you do it. First, you start by choosing a situation or a story. Think of a simple situation or story from your daily life. I mean, it could be a conversation you had, an experience you went through, or even like a funny situation or funny incident. So you're going to write that story down in your native language, okay? So if your native language is Chinese, Italian, Spanish, etc., you take your time with this step and make sure you tell the story in the same manner that you would tell it if you were talking to a family member or a friend. Now you write that same story or situation in English. Do your best you can, and don't worry about making any mistakes. No one's going to know. No one's going to know other than you, right? So now's the time to make those mistakes. Then the next step is you're going to translate that story into English. You remember the version you wrote in your native tongue? You use that translating app to convert that version into English, okay? So once you have the AI generated English version, you're going to take a moment to compare the translated version with your English original attempt. And you're going to notice the differences in vocabulary and the differences in phrases. So after that, you're going to familiarize yourself with the AI version. You're going to spend some time reading the English version of your story. You're going to pay attention to the new words, the new phrases that you've learned throughout this exercise. And last, you're going to record yourself telling the story. Oh yeah, turn on your camera, record yourself narrating the story in English, and you're trying to do it with little to no reference to the journal. All right, so this is going to help in improving your speaking and your listening skills. Now, you get to watch me do everything I just explained with one of my students, and she's going to explain it, and you're going to watch how she interacts with me and how she creates a story in her native tongue, in English, and then translates it with the translating app, and then she's going to narrate that story, okay? So stick around for that. Oh, and if you haven't, you got to follow and you got to like this video, because the next methods, all right, the next techniques to help you master this English language in 6 months are coming up, okay? So if you don't follow me, you're not going to know they're out. All right. So thanks for watching. And now, welcome to my classroom. The first thing I want to do is I want to explain a translating app exercise. Translating app like Google Translate, okay? We could do a story or a situation, something that happened to you today. And you're going to write it in Spanish with your pencil and paper.
Okay.
Yeah. Something that happened to you today, or something you saw, or a situation in the classroom, or something you saw on TV, or a news report, or something, you know? Like what do you want to write about?
Something that happened to me today.
Okay. Very good. It doesn't have to be long because we're just showing my students and all around the world, we're going to show them how this is done. So we just need something short, like just a sample. All right. So you came up with something in Spanish, right? That's your native language, Spanish. Let me hear what you wrote in Spanish, the story.
Hoy de educación física jugué fútbol con los hombres y casi me pegan, así que me puse a jugar con unas amigas.
Okay, now before you translate this with the translating application or with Google Translate or whatever, before you do that, now I want you to write the same thing in English. I don't care if you get it wrong. I don't care if you make mistakes. I don't care if it takes you whatever. I want you to write it down in English as best as you can. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. And very casual. I don't want you to sound like a robot, you know? Very casual with wanna, gonna, you know, to go to,
but I, like all of these things, you know? All right, let's do it. She's hard at work. What do you need help with?
Educación física, PD.
PE, physical education.
Oh,
PE.
today in PE or today on?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this is your first attempt without the translating application. So this is what you can come up with your English, okay? And then we're going to compare it.
Today in PE, I played soccer with the boys and they hit me with the ball. So I decided to play with my friend.
That's good. That's very good English. That sounds very good. So the first thing you did was what? You wrote a story in which language?
My language.
Yeah, my native tongue, Spanish.
Yep.
Okay, so if you were Chinese, it would be Chinese. If you were Italian, it would be Italian. Russian, it would be Russian, right? And then you wrote the same story. You translated it to English without any help, right? Now, what are you going to do? Now you're going to take that story that you wrote in Spanish, your native language, and you're going to type it into the translating application. So if you can share your screen, please, while you type it in, so we could see the process. Okay, so now can you read the English one for me? Because the next part is you have to read the English one with very good pronunciation.
The
English one.
Today in PE, I played soccer with the men and they hit me with the ball. So I decided to go play with some friends.
So in Spanish, I noticed there that you needed to add more information. Like instead of men, you play with the boys, right? So that part where it said los hombres, just put how you would say it, because the idea has to be very casual, exactly how you would talk to one of your friends or family members. Because in Spanish, you wouldn't talk to them like this. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, you wouldn't talk to them. You'd say, look what happened to me today. I was playing football with some kids from my school, and they were playing so rough, and so I ended up getting hit with the ball. I had enough, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go play with the girls. You know, that's exactly how you would say it in Spanish, right?
Yes.
Okay,
right.
So now in Spanish, put that in Spanish just like I said, okay?
Okay.
Just take your time. So erase that and put it in Spanish. Because it has to be very casual, just like if you're talking to a family member or a friend, you know, not like a robot. I need you to be very casual. So go ahead, hon. I love it. So now read the English part, because now it's more, fluent, more casual, it's closer to what a real conversation would be, both in Spanish and in English.
Today I was in PE class and they made us play with the men. And it was very difficult because we were less and also they knew more things. So I gave what I could, but I ended up getting hit with the ball and everything. So I decided to play instead with some friends.
That's excellent. So, okay, so right here, I could see, that sounds very good. So right here, I can see there are new phrases that might be new to you because you slowed down. So I gave what I could, right? That's good, right? So I gave what I could. So that's something that I would write in my journal. I would write the Spanish, I would write the English in my journal, okay? And I would highlight, so I gave what I could, all right? And I would also highlight, I ended up, because ended up is a phrasal verb. It's a very important phrasal verb, you know? So if somebody says, listen, you need to try harder, and you're like, I gave what I could, right? Right? That's something that you can use, something that you can memorize for your English. That takes you to the next level with your English. All right?
Okay.
So now I want you to take a couple of minutes and I want you to write the English in your notebook, please. Can you write this in your notebook? The English part? Just take your time. There's something that I don't like about the English translation, and it's the fact that it says they made us play with men, with the men. I still don't like this. So what if you put where it says hombres over here on the left, hombres, what if you put um, niños, like boys? What if you put that? See what happens
Okay.
with the children. See, that doesn't make sense, right? What is another way that you would say boys and people?
Maybe chicos.
Chicos. Put chicos. Try chicos. There you go, the boys. So, okay, so that's one way of saying it. All right, so we're going to stick with chicos. Okay, I like that. So now you have Spanish and the English in the notebook. So now you could look across from the notebook and you could identify what is what, and we found two really cool sentences, right? I gave it what I all I could and something else, right?
I ended up.
And I ended up. So this would be vocabulary or expressions that you should write on the side of that, like in a different color or something, so that you can practice with this all the time. All right. And now you can tell the story. So now basically you would record yourself, you know, record yourself with a video. You don't have to do that because I'm recording you. But now you would tell the same story to me, and you try not to look at the notes. But if you have to look at the notes, go for it. So try and tell me the story in English, even if you have to look at the notes really quick and then look at me and tell me.
Um. Well, today I was in PE class, and they made us play with the boys, and it was very difficult. mm, because we were less, and also they knew more things. So I gave that I could, but I ended up getting hit with the ball.
Yeah, that's funny. I gave it all I could.
I gave it a
I
I
gave in the past. I gave. I
I
gave it all I
gave
could.
I gave it all that I could. I ended up getting hit with the ball and everything. So I decided to play instead with some friends.
That's excellent. So now, if we were to make more like energy and more like American, how would you do that? Like, remember all the shadowing we've done with the Gilmore Girls and the TV shows, and don't worry about it. I know we're recording, and I know a lot of people are going to see this, but it helps. It helps them. Okay. So right now it sounds flat, and I know, I don't like being recorded either, but if you were to help people and show them the difference when you boom do the like American acting, like the American girl acting, how would you do the first part? And I'll help you through it if you have a hard time.
Um,
Like more energy.
Today I was in P class, and they made us play with boys.
Yeah. Today I was in the PE class and they made us play with the boys.
And it was very difficult because we were less, and also they knew more things. So I gave what I could.
I gave it what I could.
I gave it what I could. But I ended up getting hit with the ball and everything. So I decided to play instead with some friends.
Yeah,
Like,
that was good. I decided to play, to play, to play. I decided to
play.
go and play. I decided to play with some of my friends. That's good. That's very good, my friend. So now we have to work on the past tense. Like I wrote in my book. I played, and well, the played you said, but there was another one I read,
Red.
right? And some other. So anyway, so thank you very much. I'm gonna stop recording now, and then I will send this to the world, and you will be famous.
Ya te veo.
Yes.
Ay,